Hi. I'm Paulina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. YouTube. I'm excited that you're here. I am a writer, artist, author, writing coach, creative coach, figure skater. There's a lot of things, a lot of words you can use to describe me. But mostly what I am today in this video is a morning pages practitioner. I have been doing morning pages every single day for 6 years. I know, sounds impossible, but I've done it. And mostly it's because I cannot start my day without them. I'm a crazy person without them. But it has not always been that way, and I want to take the time to introduce you to morning pages in a way that I would during my Artist Way cohorts, which I'm leading my next one in January 2025. And I just want to share with you what I've learned over 6 years of doing morning pages every dang day. I'm not a morning person. Every single person who knew me in childhood has a horror story of trying to wake me up in the morning. People pouring water on my head. My dad literally would rip a duvet off me and pull me by the leg off my bed. Still difficult. It's difficult for me to wake up. I don't wake up. I'm not like Snow White singing to the birds. So when I came to the Artist Way and was asked to do morning pages first thing in the morning, I was not super thrilled by that prospect. However, now I can't start my day without them. That does not mean I'm a morning person now, because I'm not. I would love to be. If someone has tips on how to become a morning person, let me know, because my God, I could sleep for 12 hours if left unattended, and sometimes I do. But once I do wake up, I get to my morning pages. So what are morning pages? Morning pages are 3 pages written by hand, stream of consciousness, done first thing in the morning. The concept comes from The Artist Way, which was written by Julia Cameron in 1992. And so you've probably heard of morning pages or The Artist Way. Maybe your friend bought the book, or maybe it's on your bookshelf and you're like, I should do this, but you just haven't done it yet. The foundational basic tool of Artist Way is the morning pages. When you're first starting, Julia Cameron suggests getting up an hour earlier than you usually do to get them done. That sounds like a lot. 3 pages, 1 hour, that's a battle. But I want to give you a little bit of hope. I can do my morning pages in 15 minutes, 6 years in. So that isn't to say I started whipping out 3 pages at 15 minutes flat. It took 6 years to get here, but what I'm trying to articulate is that it won't always take a whole hour if you stick to it, which I know you can. I believe in you. So I thought I would let you in on my specific morning routine as someone who hates to wake up. I love life. I just hate waking up. So around my morning pages, 6 years in, I've developed a bit of a routine that helps me get my day jump started. So first thing I do is squeeze a little bit of lemon water. Just squeeze a little lemon, put some water, drink that while I wash my little face. Have my little routine, which could be another video. Because baby, I'm in my 30s, but I get mistaken for 26 often. Anyways, I do that. Then I make a cup of Earl Grey tea and a cup of kefir with a few berries plunked in. And I get into my office, my home office, because your girl works from home. She's a self-employed baddie. So I go into my office, which is my, my workspace, but also my sanctuary. It's my, play space, my creative space, and as Virginia Woolf once said, a room of my own, a room of one's own. Baby, I got it. I'm living out the Virginia Woolf dream. So as I drink my kefir, I read a couple recovery-focused little literature books. So I read a 12-step book, I read another daily reflection 12-step book, and then I read a women's recovery daily reader. And I love starting my day with readings just because every day is different and it kind of helps me get into a spiritual mindset. Granted, again, as I said before, when I first wake up, I wouldn't say I am super spiritually minded. I would say I'm at if 0 is base level, I'm at a -4. So I'm doing these things to get to my base level so I can be a member of society. And the reading was good today. The reading was really good today. Let me grab that. So this is my just general women's recovery reader. Each day a new beginning. So I'm in recovery for addiction and alcoholism, but I also am in eating disorder recovery. I tick off a lot of boxes. If you looked at me on paper, I would look quite mentally ill. However, I'm happy to report that I'm on the other side of it. It is possible. It is possible to have eating disorders in your teens and substance abuse issues in your 20s and come out your 30s and have a stable relationship and income. You know, the American dream. Baby, you can get through it too. But we have to do a lot of things to feel normal. But I really like the recovery reading this morning. The quote is, "Let your tears come. Let them water your soul." Eileen Mayhew. But it really spoke to me this morning. It says, "So often we need reminding that we are only human. Perfectionism may be our bane. It may be our bane of our existence." I am someone who has perfectionistic tendencies, and on this YouTube journey, you know, it's long form. I love a long form. If I write an essay, you best believe it's gonna be 17 pages. However, this is a vulnerable thing because I haven't been on YouTube before and I haven't talked at a camera alone in my house before. But I'm open to the challenge, if only because Olivia Najera, my brilliant collaborator and editor, my Gen Z intern, convinced me that I belong in this sphere. And, you know, I'm willing to take suggestion. We must be better, we think, and we tighten our hold on life. The magic is when we loosen our grip on this day, this activity, this person, we get carried gently along and find that which we struggle to control is happening smoothly and naturally. Life is a series of ironies. This is my favorite part of the reading. There's, you know, the quote, and then someone tells you what they think about it, and then there's a little like mantra for the day. And so today, my tears will heal, and the wounded are everywhere. I was very struck by the wounded are everywhere. It felt very powerful, but also true. I don't think anyone's all right. I don't think anybody's all right. So if you are wounded, I accept you. I love you and accept you as you are. And I'm happy that you're here. And I think morning pages have helped me process a lot of, as I've said, whatever you want to call it, mental illness, processing disorders, coping mechanisms, whatever it is. But my morning pages have been so foundational in finding recovery because, and I'll get into it, once you start your morning pages and you start writing about the same thing over and over again, you're going to get tired of hearing yourself complain. So let's just get into morning pages. I use MIIIIIIIND notebooks. I think these are like A4 size paper, which is what Julia Cameron recommends. You can get a pack of 5 of these for like $3. The paper quality is so sexy. Like it's just, oh, it's so good. And I always kind of rotate between what pens I like. I like a felt tip pen. MIIIIIIIND has really delicious looking pens. They're just like little crisp ballpoint pens. My friend Talia gave me a Lamy, so I've been using a fountain pen. So I like having choice on what pen I'm gonna use because it makes me feel like I have control over my life. It's the tiny choices that keep us alive. Anyways, morning pages. So typically I start on the first page with what is top of mind. I'll put the date, I'll put my sobriety day count. Today I'm on 1,043 days sober. Thank you very much. And what is on the first page is usually just whatever I'm thinking about. Today I started with the quote, the wounded are everywhere, because I thought that was really palpable. I'm not lying to you, I'm telling you exactly what I thought this morning. I wrote, recovery lit hit hard this morning. So as you can tell, it does not need to be good writing. None of this is about like breaking out your little quill and being like, therefore, however, I woke up and I rose with the day. You know, like that's the last thing we want. We want brain drain. We want just word vomit. Like, look at my handwriting. Hopefully it focuses. This is Zodiac Killer handwriting. This is unattended child who needs help. You know, this isn't about precision. This isn't about performance. This is about getting it out of your dumb brain. I'm not saying your brain is dumb. I'm just saying my brain is dumb first thing in the morning and I need to get the dumb out. Also, if I have dreams, I have to write them out. Dreams have the potential to ruin my whole day. I don't know about you, but I will hold on to a dream as if it happened. And so sometimes it's like literally like last night in my dream, Megan Anderson and her brother and her cousin were talking about how they had their grandma's nose. That is a direct quote from my dream last night. So I probably wrote that down just because I have to get it out. Whatever is like right here is what comes down. If you are like, I have no idea what to do, you're right, I have no idea what to do. This sucks. I hate this so much. Eventually, you're gonna get tired of hearing yourself complain, and then you're like, ooh, I love bread. Bread is delicious. It's like, this is not capital W writing. This is, I have to get off my chest because I don't want to tell people about it. When you encounter someone who hasn't been outside in a while and they're just telling you things and you're like, that was for inside your brain. That's what I want you to write down. I want you to write down the thing that like no one needs to hear, but you need to hear it. And that's the name of the game. Writing pages are about attuning in to yourself, discovering what is top of mind. And a lot of us, if we're not in the process or the practice of journaling or writing morning pages, don't have that discipline, don't have that practice. This isn't to shame anybody for having dumb thoughts. I have 400 million dumb thoughts a day. It's to get you in the practice of noticing what you're thinking about, but also process, discharge, let go of fears, resentments, emotional feelings, dreams, just whatever is right here. We just gotta let it go so that we can actually process what's going on, which takes me to page 2. Page 2 is usually when I get to the meat of the thing. It can be if, I'm not feeling real deep that morning. It's just more like, my cat is cute. I love my cat. You just keep going. You just keep going until you're into the bottom of that second page. Usually, however, say in that first page, you're like, I'm really mad at Becca. Second page, maybe I should have called her back when she called me. Whatever it is. Like, usually we get past whatever the surface layer thing is. When I'm teaching improv to high schoolers, which I have done since 2017 at Columbia University in the summers, usually when you're a beginning improviser and there's 2 people, you're gonna be like, Mom, I want spaghetti, but we don't have spaghetti. You said we had spaghetti. And that's when I pause and I say, folks, what are we actually talking about here? Are we talking about spaghetti, or is there something deeper that we're discussing? And really what we're discussing is that Dad hasn't been home or whatever. You know what I mean? You get to make it up in improv, but in reality, you get to address what is under your spaghetti, whatever that may be. So ultimately, second page is where we get into the meat of it. We're no longer complaining and we're getting into the solution. Because ultimately, day after day after day, if you're like, I hate my apartment, I hate my apartment, I hate my apartment, I hate my apartment, you're gonna hear yourself and you're gonna get tired of hearing yourself complain. And so maybe second page is, wow, maybe I need to find a new apartment, right? It's kind of where we start moving past the surface level thing and getting into the solution. Then we get to page 3. Page 3. Winner, winner. What is it like? Loser, loser, double loser. Yeah, I was a kid in the 90s. What of it? Third page is when I start to feel the lift, the relief of discharging whatever was in my brain, and I start sort of recalibrating for the day. So that's kind of when affirmations come in, prayers, things like that. One of the primary ones that sort of hook me into sort of the rhythm of like mantras is the phrase, lead me, guide me, show me. I don't have a religious practice. My mom tried to get me to go to church with the religious girl a few times in elementary school. I'm culturally Jewish. I don't subscribe to religious dogma, but I have deep respect for people who do practice religion, and I also have double deep respect for people who have religious trauma. So when I talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about capital G God. Like, I am a person who in the 3rd grade would pray to Elvis before ice skating competitions. So I've always had a very loose relationship to what my higher power is. And so for me, Elvis, nature, trees, my dead grandparents, of course, the guardian angels, it's real loose. Me on a higher dimension, making all the right healthy choices. Like, it's very abstract for me. So when I say higher power or prayer or anything like that, I don't want you to shut down, because I don't have a monolithic view of what spirituality is or should be. And I really believe that we are each, our spirituality is based in our creativity, and it is our divine right to be creative. And so for me, my spiritual journey is really grounded in fostering my creativity. And also my sobriety has been a huge part of that. So don't shut down. I got you, baby. It's okay. We can talk through it. We're all wounded people. So when I'm on the third page, I'm praying. Lead me, guide me, show me, thy will be done. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I am the director. I want to pull all the strings. And so the third page really helps me shift out of my need to grip and sort of allow the day to unfold. So there's also mantras and affirmations from Artist Way that I use, like a stronger, clearer me is emerging. Some 12-step stuff, relieve me of the bondage of self, so I may better do thy will. It's a cacophony. Every day is different. This morning I was praying that my boyfriend had an uneventful day at work. Every day is different. But I think the third page is really when I kind of click into something bigger than me. It's I got the pasta sauce off my noodles. I don't know if that analogy works, but we're gonna pretend it did. But I've opened myself up to something bigger than myself so that I can actually hear my higher power work through me, through my creativity. So that is how I practice my morning pages. That isn't to say that you have to practice them that way, but 6 years in, that's sort of the natural ebb and flow. And I think especially because knowing what I do on each page helps me get through them more quickly, which is why at this point, I can do it in 15 minutes. So now that you've heard me talk about my morning pages, you might be questioning why. Why do you do this every day for 6 years? So the morning pages are a foundational tool in the Artist Way. And they are a really, really great tool at being able to decipher your inner critic's voice and your voice. So many of us are walking around with just a constant monologue in our head. I know I did prior to this. My God, my head was a loud place. So when we do morning pages, we're taking that dialogue and we're putting on the page. And in the Artist Way, there are specific tasks like affirmations and blurts and sort of editing your inner critic. You get to start to see what those words are and then ultimately whose voice that is. Because when it comes to our inner critic, it's never usually us. It's something a teacher said to us in childhood, or a parent, or a friend. But it's their voice that we hear most of all, and we're so used to it that we think it's ours. So if you do the Artist Way, either on your own or with me in January 2025, it'd be so much fun. We'll talk more explicitly about that inner critic. The first step is witnessing that voice, but the second step is sort of correcting that voice. So in your morning pages, if you write a statement like I'm dumb, you'd cross it out and write I'm tired, I'm not being kind to myself. Or even if you want to really overcorrect, I'm smart, right? We're learning how to turn those critical thoughts into anything but it does take a corrective hand to really, one, identify that voice, and then two, supplement it with something more constructive. Because ultimately, shame is not a good motivator. You should know. I was ruled by shame for a long time. And now I'm not. I don't think so. I just question myself. I'm gonna say I'm not. Shame does not facilitate sound growth. Shame perpetuates shame and guilt and keeps you blocked. So all of this is in the service of unblocking you. So let's do the work together in January 2025. I am here to report and say that I do not hear my inner critic when I'm writing anymore. At all. I hear it when I'm scrolling my phone and doing mindless things. But when I'm writing, I really have learned how to turn off that critical voice and tune into something bigger. I step into a portal and my brain just dumps onto the page. So I'm saying that not to be I'm perfect, because I'm not. I'm saying that to instill a bit of hope in you that with concentrated effort, you don't have to hate yourself. And I think we need to hear more of that. That critical voice in your head that is telling you it's helping you is keeping you quiet. So let's hear your voice instead of whatever your fourth grade teachers told you when you were 9. Or is that just me? Thanks, Mrs. Wilson, for telling my mom I was a dumb valley girl who would never make it through my school. I did. I'm still working on that resentment. But you know what? When I write, Mrs. Wilson, she's not here. She comes up sometimes though, so that's why I keep doing the artist way. There's more to be revealed. So I want to take a second to tell you a little bit about where I started with morning pages. As I said, I didn't start just with whipping out 3 pages in 15 minutes. That's insane. That's not normal. I was the sort of person who would like finish a class essay, like in-class essay before everybody else. Like I've just always been a fast writer, so there's no expectation for you to ever take less than the time you need. So it's not a competition. It's just, for me, I can get it done in 15 minutes. However, when I first started doing morning pages, 1 page felt impossible, insurmountable, could not get it done. I think I had a journal about this size, but then I got a smaller journal. And so I always recommend to my students to meet yourself where you are. If 1 page is too much, then just the goal is 1 page, progress, not perfection. So eventually, I think in a smaller journal, I was able to do 1 page pretty effortlessly. And so after that, after like a couple months of that, I started pulling tarot cards by the 2nd page and then looking up their meaning and then writing by hand their meaning in my morning pages journal. And then the 3rd page would be when I would be like, ooh, 4 of swords must mean I need to take a nap, trying to articulate what the meaning of the card was for me. This was helpful because it got me in the practice of just writing it out. It also, unintentionally, I learned the tarot. So if you want to borrow the 1 page method and then also pulling any sort of card or whatever makes sense to you, the name of the game here is like progress, not perfection. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Getting established in the practice of creating that sort of container of time for yourself is more important than like getting it all done. But in the beginning, I think it's important to at least give yourself half an hour. I know an hour is a lot. I don't think I ever gave myself an hour, but that's me. I don't like the mornings. So I think giving yourself at least 30 minutes is nice in the beginning, even if it's 30 minutes for 1 page. And there's days where it's like, I don't know what I want to write. I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. But it's important to write that down too, because you're discharging that feeling. So yeah, they are what you make of it. It is definitely a discipline. I kind of hate the word discipline because it makes me feel like there has to be a sense of punishment involved. But I really don't believe that. I think that you can meet yourself where you are, but it takes about 90 days to do a habit, to sort of embody a habit. And it is no mistake that the artist way is 12 weeks, which is also 90 days. So if you are doing the artist way, at least trying to do the morning pages every single day of the 12-week workbook is your best shot at the sort of striving towards the discipline of morning pages. So progress, not perfection. Some days it doesn't happen. Sometimes they're night pages, but it's really about committing to yourself and cultivating a space where you can connect to yourself and something bigger than you. I really, really love this practice, if only because it has facilitated a sense of magic in my morning. I really do think that creativity is magical. And I like to start my day off with that because it sets the tone for the day. So after I do my morning pages, I pull tarot cards. I also pull angel cards, and those either warn me of what's going to happen or kind of dictate already how I feel. And then the real pièce de résistance are the Artist Way affirmation deck that every single participant of my Artist Way cohort gets when they sign up. And it has rules of the road, Artist Way affirmations, some affirmations that I wrote. But I love this one. I just pulled it. As I create and listen, I will be led. Hopefully that is focusing. Ultimately, when it comes to any sort of creative endeavor, I like to subscribe to the idea of going towards what feels hot to the touch. That phrase was first said to me by a friend and writer, Heather Sellers, incredible writer. So, and it has never led me astray. What I mean by that is, what is the thing that you can't stop thinking about, or feels a little dangerous, or maybe makes you want to throw up if you think about writing about it? Like, that's what you need to be writing about. And when I do these routines every single day, I'm able to actually tune in to what feels hot to the touch. And thank goodness YouTube is what feels hot to the touch today. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, boy, would you enjoy being a part of my 2025 Artist Way cohort. We are meeting in January through March, and we're going through Julia Cameron's The Artist Way. This will be, I think, my 9th cohort, and wow, my book, it shows. It shows. You will be immersed in a really amazing community of artists and creative thinkers. And I have been through this book so many times, so I can tell you how to do it. And then we're doing next year a little bit differently in that we're going to do the 2 following workbooks after The Artist Way. So Walking in the World and Finding the Water. So if you like what you see here, maybe we'll spend the year together. I think it is my calling to help people tap into their creativity and tell their stories. And so if you feel inspired by this video, start with 1 page a day. That is a great place to start. That's where I started. And I think, we are all trapped in the I want things now thing model world. And so this is something that will lead to long-term growth and more than you can realize, current day development. So yeah, I hope that I can help you recognize your own creativity and work through your self-doubt, because you got a story to tell, baby. You got art to make, and we need it. The earth needs your art. I need your art. So if you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, share, comment. I would love to hear from you, genuinely. Again, this is a little bit of a leap of faith for me. This is a brand new endeavor, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you do all the things that help the YouTube algorithm. And more than that, I would love to work with you, whether that's in my Artist Way cohort or one-on-one writing coaching. So thank you for letting me tell you a little bit about my favorite practice, morning pages. And I just love you. I love and accept you exactly as you are. Fear is part of the journey, but I'm here to guide you through it.